Hello and welcome back and welcome to the Unintentional Judo podcast. I go by the name of Heinz and thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking about the whole Diddy and Jay-Z fiasco, and we're going to bring all the details that has been happening within that lawsuit, because I don't think we've covered the lawsuit. We have covered a Jane Doe lawsuit on the Unintentional Judo podcast quite a while back in October, I believe. We have covered one of the Jane Doe from Tennessee, but definitely not from Alabama. So I had to double check that for a minute. But yeah, this one is kind of new territory for us because it's a it's a new lawsuit that we're covering that was filed in October on the 14th, which is why I had to double check. It was filed in October on the 14th, but it was amended later on, naming Jay-Z, and we're gonna be giving all of our thoughts in regards to the lawsuit and in regards to all of the fiasco and the hubbub that has been happening. So without further, let's go into the lawsuit and see what it says. This is the lawsuit, and as with all of Buzbee's lawsuit, it details all of the other cases that he has covered, that he is currently not covered, but currently litigating against Diddy. And this is from Joy Dickinson Neal. He lists from Joy Dickinson Neal to Cassie to Lil Rod to Crystal McKinney and all of and Adria English. On all of those, he lists all of the people that have active lawsuits against Diddy, as well as the Jane Doe's that has lawsuits. So here we go into the parties, and she is residing from Alabama, and she names Bad Boy in the filings, as well as other Jane or John Doe's that she reserves, or in this case the Jane Doe, the party reserves to call should it go into discovery. So yeah, so this is where it says that defendants organization, or those 1 to 10, are currently unknown entities. So there's 10 organizational does and individual does that are currently unnamed, and are and it says that defendants retain their rights to amend complaint to add these individuals by name. So depending on what happens in the future, they will be named in the future, maybe not now. But here is the key part. It says defendant Shawn Carter is a male who, on information and belief, maintains and residencies in both New York and Los Angeles. Defendant Carter is more commonly known by his industry name of Jay-Z. Carter was identified in plaintiff's original complaint as Celebrity A. Prior to filing this amended complaint, Carter received a letter from plaintiff's counsel requesting a mediation to resolve this matter. So, as mentioned in the previous filing, he was named as the Deputy A, and I'm guessing they're gonna be doing this for the other those individuals that were unnamed, and they in any amended complaints, whatever they found, they're gonna be naming them after that. So moving on, he says, upon present information and belief, Jay-Z responded to said letter by not only filing a utterly frivolous lawsuit, but by orchestrating a conspiracy of harassment, bullying, and intimidation against plaintiff lawyers, their families, employees, and former associates in an attempt to silence plaintiff from naming Jay-Z herein. This effort was meant to scare plaintiff and discredit her counsel. That effort failed. Indeed, plaintiff chose to file this amendment as a result of egregious conduct perpetrated by Carter. So they have so before actually naming, they reached out to Jay-Z for a settlement, and Jay-Z in turn filed a counter trying to get the case. Well, I don't know exactly the details of the counter and what it was trying to do, but what I'm guessing is he was trying to either recoup or I actually don't know. It would be either to try and recoup losses from here in the lawsuit. So, but yeah, that was but it's interesting as well to just to mention that they were already, before all of this was brought into public forefront, there were already filings back and forth, and more filings were happening. We're just gonna go from there, and we're gonna return to this, but as mentioned here by Tony Buzbee, he says the New York Times contacted me to ask for a response to rapper Jay-Z's allegations that I tried to extort and blackmail him. My response is pretty straightforward. No one has made any threats. Jay-Z's assertions are bogus and laughable. Instead, our firms sent a standard demand letter seeking mediation on behalf of a woman who alleges Jay-Z sexually assaulted her as a minor. The letter was vetted and approved by our client, whose preference was to attempt a resolution short of filing a lawsuit. This approach is common in this type of cases. What you are seeing played out now is a coordinated and desperate effort to focus the public's attention on me personally to avoid attention on the allegations being made by my clients. This effort has included harassing my family and colleagues, and even offering former clients money to sue me, which is illegal. When an alleged perpetrator behaves in this manner, while asserting that it's a basic demand letter is extortion, and aggressively using the media to attack the opposing lawyer, while at the same time ignoring the allegations being made by the alleged victim, it reminds me of a famous line from Shakespeare: "The lady doth protest too much, methinks." We intend to address all of these issues with the court in due course. Let me be clear, we will not be bullied or intimidated by these shenanigans, and our clients won't be silenced. Well, that was after the filing was made. So after the filing was made, we're just gonna go back and read the factual allegations of the case. But after the filing was made, there was a lot of going on and happenings, which we're gonna be commenting on A lot of back and forths in regards to the letters sent by Jay-Z to withdraw the filings, and as well as the the can I call it the party herself, the plaintiff herself, going on record to say that she may have made some mistakes in the filing of this lawsuit or the identification of Jay-Z, and we're going to be commenting on all of that and bringing our perspective. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So here it says, so these are the factual allegations. It says, on or around September 7th, 2000, plaintiff, then 13-year-old, had a friend drive and drop off near Radio City Music Hall in New York City, so she could try and to attend the Video Music Awards, also known as the VMAs. Attending the VMAs was on the plaintiff bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Plaintiff, hold on, let me just hold on. My mouse has died. I got to charge it up. 1 second. There we go. Should be back up now. Yep, should be back up now. All right, fair. Now that's back up now. Okay, it says attending the VMAs was on a plaintiff's bucket list, and she believed she could gain entry. Plaintiff arrived at the venue and saw large crowds gathering as artists and entertainers began arriving. Plaintiff was very excited. As the event began, much of the crowd moves inside, but plaintiff, without a ticket, remained outside with others and watched the VMAs on a jumbotron. Determined to get into the VMAs or an after party, she approached several limousine drivers parked nearby and attempted to talk her way into either. One of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked younger girls, and she said she fit what Diddy was looking for. While not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed the plaintiff to return to his location after the event and that he pick her up and take her to the after party. Later that evening, plaintiff excitedly returned to the same location and waited for what seemed for a long time. The driver returned and drove her to what he described as the after party. Let me try and resize this a little. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me. I'll try. Okay. After approximately 20 minutes, plaintiff arrived at what she believed to be a large white residence with a gated U-shaped driveway. Once inside, two men asked to sign a document which plaintiff did not read, but which she now believes to have been a non-disclosure agreement. She was told that she could not discuss what happened at the party. She gave the men her name and signed the form, but did not receive a copy. Inside the building, plaintiff recognized many celebrities as she entered what appeared to be a large living room or foyer containing a large crowd. Plaintiff attempted to mingle in the crowd and talk to several of the celebrities that she recognized and whom she had wanted to see in the VMAs. Waitstaff circulated through the room, carrying trays of drinks, and loud music played throughout the venue. Plaintiff observed widespread drug use, including marijuana and not gonna say it, baking soda. That's the one, including marijuana and baking soda. I probably should have strengthened my marijuana too, because I don't know what YouTube is gonna say these days in regards to this. So I'll just say MJ and baking soda from now on. After attempting to talk to numerous celebrities, plaintiff accepted a drink from one of the waitresses circulating the crowd. The drink was reddish yellow mixture that tasted like orange juice, cranberry juice, and something bitter. After drinking just a portion of that drink, plaintiff began to feel woozy and lightheaded, making her need to lie down. A photograph of an exemplary container used by Combs and or his agents employees to insert GHB into alcoholic drinks is seen below. And this is pretty much, I guess, standard for a lot of these plaintiffs that have filed cases, because it seems almost copy and pasta into all of this. So I'm not sure if copy and pasta is even the right word to even the right phraseology, to even use here, because I don't know but I've seen this exact replica being used for a lot of the lawsuits that was filed. Looking for a place to rest, plaintiff walked down what appeared to be a hallway containing several rooms of it. She entered what appeared to be an empty bedroom so she could lie down for a moment. She did not lock the door. This room contained only a large bed with no furniture of any kind, television, or other furnishings. Soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. I wonder who celebrity B could be. I really do wonder who that could be. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, You are ready to party." Combs threw plaintiff towards a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented. Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her, while Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. When Combs backed away in surprise, plaintiff grabbed her clothes and shoes and ran out of the bedroom, holding her dress in front of her like a towel. She ran around the residence until she found the front door and was able to leave the party. Although there were other guests still at the party, no one appeared to take notice of plaintiff's distress or attempted to help her. That's sad. Once outside, plaintiff put her clothes back on and left the scene in the dark. Plaintiff attempted to retrace the route back to the limo driver. She kept running until she reached a gas station. She noticed on the way to the party, a female clerk noticed her distress and allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts, and asked him to pick her up. Plaintiff's father arrived to pick her up shortly before dawn. After the assault, plaintiff fell into deep depression, which continues to affect every facet of her life. Plaintiff suffers post-traumatic stress disorder and a seizure disorder caused by stress and trauma. Plaintiff had difficulty maintaining normal relationships and lives largely withdrawn from society. That's very sad. If you considering what has happened, considering all that has happened after this lawsuit was filed, because there have been some developments in regards to all of this, and that is the fact that she sat in an interview with NBC to discuss this particular lawsuit, and it was in this interview that it came out that there have been some inconsistencies in the story, as well as her dad not even remembering the version of events that she had laid out there. So we're gonna watch the interview now.
Yourself, you should always advocate for yourself and be a voice for yourself. You should never let what somebody else did run your life.
A 38-year-old mother from Alabama who has filed a lawsuit accusing Sean Diddy Combs and Jay-Z of raping her when she was 13 years old is speaking out to NBC News for the first time. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward and talk today?
Because I think that I've been quiet long enough about what I've been through, and it's been hard enough to be quiet, but it's a chapter of my life that I'd like to close.
An NBC News review of her account found inconsistencies with her allegations. She says that she went to the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000 to catch a glimpse of her favorite celebrities.
You weren't scared to be all alone?
No, with having autism is
oh yeah, she's autistic too.
Is like feeling like you live your life in a shatterproof juggle ball. The world's on fire. The fire is inside the ball with you, but there's no way for you to get out.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who has since died. The woman says she spoke to Combs's limo driver who offered her a ride to an after party.
I stumbled upon Diddy's driver who told me that I was exactly what Diddy was looking for.
What did you think when he said that to you?
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper, because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time.
I'm not gonna lie, that is really bad form. The fact that these guys come out to say that they were not even at the event that she said that she saw this tattoo from. So question comes immediately, like, whose tattoo did she see then, and what was it's just an inconsistent statement. I don't want to call anyone a liar.
At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. Well, he at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the.
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, "I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind," he said.
That's just horrible. I mean, the fact that he doesn't remember that, but he doesn't remember that, but remembers.
When we ask, I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind.
I feel like I will remember that. The reason why I'm having a bit of difficulty in like trying to like establish what it means is the fact that what don't you remember? Like you don't remember picking her up, or do you do remember picking her up, but you don't remember picking her up at the gas station? But like, because I don't know why he would say this when she just said that when it was pretty much a drive back that was not, they were not communicating. Like she did not say anything and they were just driving back. That so based on that, of course nothing would stick in your mind. Unless I'm mistaking something, because I'm trying to listen to this and they say what exactly is he not remembering? It is what I'm trying to figure out, because she didn't say that she told him anything. From at least from what I gathered from reading the entire lawsuit, she never said that she told the dad anything, but he's saying that something like this would definitely stick into in your mind. What exactly?
He said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statements. "I have made some mistakes," she said. "Honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me." The inconsistencies in her account of an incident alleged to have happened 24 years ago does not necessarily mean the allegations are false. The accuser's attorney, Tony Buzbee, said, "Because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to the stress." In a statement to NBC News, Shawn Carter said this incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. "True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory."
Is any part of you scared
poetic
coming out against such powerful people?
Yeah, I'm scared of what could happen, but I'm more afraid of letting it eat me alive from the inside out than I am of, being chastised by their fans.
All right, Chloe Malas joining us now live. Chloe, we just heard a very strongly worded statement from Jay-Z. What else are you hearing from him and his team?
Yes, so his attorney said that they're going to ask the court to, quote, dismiss this frivolous case. And also moments ago, we heard from Diddy's legal team, and I want to read you some of what they said. They said, quote, "This is the beginning of the end of this shameful money grab." And remember, he remains behind bars at Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, and his criminal trial begins in May.
All right.
Well, I mean, anytime Diddy says money is a money grab, I question that immediately, because he said Cassie was a money grab, and that turned out to be quite factual. So right, I don't have anything. I don't have. There is a lot here, because from what I could say, maybe the naming of Jay-Z was bad form, and immediately when I actually read this, and when I was watching all of this, a recurring theme came in my head where I was thinking, is it possible that she probably heard an interview or somebody like, and Jaguar Wright comes into my head every single time, like, because she has been discussing Jay-Z and Beyonce being involved with Diddy. I kept thinking, is it possible that she heard any interviews from those are maybe misremembered based on that? I mean, I don't know how likely that is, but I would want to find out. I'm find out what she's been reading, if she's because that could cause her to misidentify, and if she has misidentified Jay-Z, I can see why he would be angry with all of this, because, and I say that because he has filed a couple of letters, which we're going to be reading here soon. He's filed this to, let me go back to the scene. He's filed this to the judge, the Honorable Judge Torres, saying, he's saying, we write to the court on behalf of our client Shawn Carter on a matter of extraordinary and grave importance for the integrity of the proceedings in the above captioned case, and that is, I think, Jane Doe and Sean Combs et al. This one here. Today at 7:27 p.m. Eastern Time, the NBC reported on an interview that is reporters conducted with the an anonymous plaintiff in this case. The interview outs plaintiff's allegations for what they are: a sham. Basic facts in a narrative, the who, what, when, and where are wrong. She claims her father picked her up after the assault. Her own father denies that ever happened. Well, this is written from the perspective of Jay-Z, so I'm not gonna get, but basically it's basically saying that the father didn't even pick her up at all, that never happened. So if that was the case and the father didn't remember picking her up at all, then I can see why he would say that's something I would remember, but he just doesn't remember her picking her up. So if that's the case, then wow, I can see why many are saying that this is a mess. She claims she spoke with Benji Madden at the party that night, but he was on tour in the Midwest at the time, forcing her to admit, I've made some mistakes. I may have made a mistake in identifying. She claims the assault took place at an after party at Mr. Combs' home, but photos that night showed Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at Lotus nightclub for the after party. When pressed, the plaintiff admitted she was guessing about key details, including the time it took to reach the venue. She admits she has no single corroborating witness over the last 24 hours. These stunning revelations make clear that the complaint filed by the plaintiff's attorney, Anthony Buzbee, therefore had no factual basis whatsoever. Even Mr. Buzbee is walking back the complaint he put his name to, excusing these glaring inconsistencies by pointing the finger at the cases being referred by another firm who allegedly vetted the story before sending to them. The heinous allegations against Mr. Carter are patently false. The complaint filed by plaintiff's attorney Anthony Buzbee therefore had no factual basis whatsoever. The heinous allegations against Mr. Carter are patently false. In light of those developments, it is now clear that Mr. Buzbee signed the complaints and other filings in this case in violation of federal rule of Civil Procedure 11. Under that rule, an attorney who signs documents assumes that an affirmative duty to conduct reasonable inquiry into the facts and the law before filing. The attorney's signature denotes merit in the filing and sends a message to the district court that this document is to be taken seriously. Plaintiffs may not file a complaint in this court without having made reasonable investigation into the facts. In addition, attorneys who learn after filing a complaint that the factual assertions are false must immediately withdraw the claims. A lawyer shall not bring or defend a proceeding or assert or controvert an issue therein. Usually there is basis in the law and facts for doing so that is not frivolous. Rule 11, imposing Rule 11 sanctions for the amended complaint that repeated allegation that lacked evidentiary support. Given today's revelations, Mr. Buzbee almost certainly failed to undertake reasonable inquiry into the facts before filing the complaint. He should have never brought the claims. Affirming sanctions order where plaintiff complaint was entirely frivolous and was made as part of a conscious effort to harass the defendant. At minimum, he should withdraw them now. Allowing these claims to remain pending even a moment longer not only harms Mr. Carter, his family, his businesses, his employees, and his legacy, it also impairs the integrity of the judicial system towards the pursuit of justice and silences the voices of true victims. Furthermore, it appears that Mr. Buzbee has attempted to circumvent the authority of this court to enforce Rule 11 and associated obligations to decline to seek admission to this court before signing pleadings and other documents. Mr. Buzbee is not licensed to practice law in this court, and he has not sought, let alone obtained, admission pro hac vice. Yet, in the nearly 8 weeks since he initiated this proceeding, Mr. Buzbee has filed a complaint in this matter that was signed solely by him using a signature signed the amended complaint alongside of a counsel. I can see this is not making it any easier for them to beat the allegations of them filing frivolously, like because the fact that they don't have a pro vice is another bad form from them. But I mean, they don't. Does he, Mr. Buzbee, need to have pro vice, or maybe someone in the firm could have jurisdiction in New York to do it, or maybe he's just claiming that in bad faith, and hopefully people like myself who are not that versed in the law could look at it and be like, oh no, he doesn't have pro vice, meaning that he's filing this illegally, this and that, something like that. I have no idea, but I'm gonna go with the side. I'm gonna err on the I'm gonna basically err with caution and basically say that, and hopefully he does have a project feature in New York City. Because I'm just say that added Mr. Carter as a defendant and notice a motion for the plaintiff to proceed anonymously, accompanied by a supporting brief and a declaration, once signed only by him. Most recently, on December 10th, 2024, Mr. Buzbee filed a letter, while he also signed alone. Mr. Buzbee's failure to obtain admission to the bar of this court is a transparent attempt to circumvent basic requirements of Rule 11 and the rules of professional conduct. Admission subjects an attorney in the jurisdiction of the court and to sanctions for signing pleadings that are not grounded in facts and the law. Mr. Buzbee thus appears to have strategically declined to seek admission in order to avoid sanctions for a complaint that he knew had no factual basis. Given these facts, Mr. Carter intends to file immediately a motion to strike the first amended complaint under Rules 11 and 12. He respectfully requests the court shorten the filing deadline for that motion from 21 days to 1 day from the date of service in light of today's stunning public disclosures and severe going on to harm Mr. Carter's reputation. Well, that may be the case, but it still doesn't. There is something that Jay-Z did. Jay-Z and his team did before all of this, before the 13th filings, and that is the fact that that he basically investigators he was basically calling the law firm filing many he would get a client to make a filing against him, and then if it wasn't taken up by David Buzbee, and the client would go on record to say how bad David Buzbee is of a client to have, understand that. So, which is illegal. Which is very illegal. Yeah, and this is what he's speaking to. He says investigators from New York have called many of our law firms, current and former clients. What they didn't anticipate was one of the clients decided to record the conversation. It's shocking and illegal. Here is a portion taken from the transcript. Investigator, in a couple of days, maybe by next week, anyone googling Buzbee and his company, his practice, are going into litigation. Okay, what are we trying to do? What we are trying to do is we are trying to put this thing together for the company that we are working for. We could get you paid. You could get paid. You could get money right soon. You know. We gave this kid $1,000 to start yesterday just to get him on the right path. At the end of the day, this is going through the courts. Buzbee is getting sued. These guys are on tape offering to pay clients to sue our law firm. That's a crime. So, that, in my opinion, none of this, all that has happened, it may be true for Jay-Z and for the parties like Diddy, etc. It may be true that the stories brought out are inconsistent on this occasion, but that doesn't stop this particular act that they were doing, because I actually do wonder if Tony Buzbee is gonna pursue that and gonna try and put pressure on the district attorney to bring some kind of criminal case against him for doing that, for the harassment, because it is a violation. It is a violation. I don't know. I haven't done much research into that side to see what laws it violates. Probably should have done that. But I haven't done much research on that side. To see which laws it violates. And mainly I've just been looking at this case. So like I said, could it be, is it possible that she has heard accounts and misremembered, or just misattributed an event that did happen to her, but misattributed it to Jay-Z and Diddy in this case. I have no idea. I hope that's not the case. I hope that this is just another, but it's coming from her own side. She has made admissions that she has made some mistakes, but how big are the mistakes is the question, and that is a question that I don't think we have. That I think that we do know that she has. I don't think we're gonna get the answers to these questions as of today or anytime soon, because the claims are up in the air now. Does this mean that the event didn't happen? I don't think so. I don't think it means that the event didn't happen, because, like I said, it could have happened, but just different details. But it does harm the credibility of the complainant, or the plaintiff in this case, to basically put out there an inconsistent statement and then continue to make further inconsistent statements. I mean, it should be the first time that you've done it. That has to be truthful, rather than walking back your claims and trying to refine your claims. But I do hope that she hasn't been listening to Jaguar Wright or anyone, or listening to other people make, because if that's the case and then she just come forward with this, it's just entirely, it does make it look bad for the other victims, like the other Jane Does and the other John Does, filing on this case. For the record, I actually believe that those filings on their own, they do stand up for themselves. This particular filing has no bearing on those filings. It shouldn't have any bearing on those filings, right? It shouldn't have, because those filings in of themselves it should survive scrutiny, and so far they haven't been under the microscope as much as this case has been. But even with that, based on what I read from those filings, they seem truthful enough, and again, but I kind of have this nagging feeling in my ear, this ringing in my ear, that Diddy is gonna use this particular case to try and go against the other filings with this particular filing, and I hope that's not. I hope that proves to be I hope that proves to be baseless, or it just doesn't work. Basically, I hope that doesn't go anywhere, and he's brought to justice, because like I said, I actually believe most of these filings, and that's not even based on the Cassie lawsuit. It's just based on the graphic detail that they went into, and that's just basically for me. So without further, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much, everyone that tuned in. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Bye bye now. The show is over, but that does not mean that the fun has to end. And I know how cliche that sounds, but really and truly, the fun really does not have to end. You know how good our streams are and how fun they can be. So we have decided to put them all into a podcast and a playlist format for you to binge on if you so wish. We also do recaps and clips of the best bits, the worst bits, all of those bits, lady bits, every bits, whatever it might
might be. We do that as well, and we upload onto the channel so in case you guys just wanna you don't wanna watch the full thing, you have the option of watching just the short versions. It's up to you. You have the choice. You have the power, like E-Man. So without further, you can also check out the main Heinz website where we continue the discussions over there, but in a more broader context to try and get into the psychology of why all these things happen. The end screen should be up here so that you guys can see the content you guys can watch. The playlist will be on your left hand side or right hand side, I don't know which one, and the video that and a recap clip should pop up here. So without further, I'll just say bye, and I'll see you on the next stream, and most importantly, the Unintentional Juror podcast. See you there.